Federal Deputy Dr. Luizinho, who is the leader of the PP in the Chamber of Deputies, went to visit Ciro Nogueira. He went in secretly. But when it was time to leave, the press saw him, right? Then I'll show you the picture. He actually ducked down inside the car like this, trying to hide. He didn't want people to see him there, going to visit Ciro Nogueira. Dr. Luizinho, federal deputy, leader of the PP, which Senator Ciro Nogueira, by the way, is the president of. Which state is this Dr. Luizinho from? Guess. That's right. Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro. And in February of this year, this Dr. Luizinho was at a meeting with whom? Guess with whom? I'll show you the photo. Here it's not just about talking. You have to prove it. Because if you don't, the Bolsonaro supporters will say you're lying. When it's true, the Bolsonaro supporters don't believe it. Do you understand? When it's a lie, the Bolsonaro supporters believe it. Then our life gets really hard, guys. When it's true, it becomes a lie. When it's a lie, it becomes the truth for Bolsonaro supporters. Any doubt? Yeah, this federal deputy, Dr. Luizinho, is from Rio de Janeiro. He's from the political group of whose? Of Flavio Bolsonaro. Who is part of whose political group? Claudio Castro. Who else? Claudio Castro, barred from office and ineligible. By Rodrigo Bacelar, barred from office, ineligible. Arrested, state representative who was president of the Legislative Assembly, and so on and so forth. So what did they do in February this year? They held a meeting in Rio de Janeiro with the PL and PP alliance. For what, Andrea Goncalves? To launch the 3 candidates for the Senate from Rio de Janeiro. And who would those candidates be, Andrea? A mayor from there, one of theirs, but who was the main one? The former governor of Rio de Janeiro, barred from office, ineligible, soon to be a prisoner, Claudio Castro. And whose mother? Guess whose mother it is? Well, my father, it's his mother and will be his too. The meeting they had, they established an alliance from the PSD of Ciro Nogueira and from the PL from Flavio Bolsonaro. Who? Flavio Bolsonaro's mother. I'll show you the picture. Who was at that meeting, Andrea Gonçalves? Obviously, Flavio Bolsonaro. Ooh, there were some mayors there, but Claudio Castro was there too, disqualified, ineligible, and under investigation for involvement with militias, the Red Command, fraud, corruption, and so on. And others? What about Dr. Luizinho? That Dr. Luizinho, who yesterday tried to sneak out of the visit to Ciro Nogueira, was also at that meeting. He's from Rio de Janeiro, a federal deputy. Here's the photo. I'll show it to you. I'll show it because otherwise you'll say no. Here it is, look. Parnerines Cavalcante Antonio Rueda. Look here, what's the name of the president of the PL? Valdemar Costa Neto. Dr. Luizinho, I'll make it bigger so you can see better. Look here, look. Flavio Bolsonaro, Claudio Castro disqualified and ineligible. Look here in the corner, really well hidden. This little hidden face here, guys, is exactly the federal deputy, Dr. Luizinho, who yesterday tried to sneak out from the visit to Ciro Nogueira. Look here at the Cavalcante Partners, 470,000 that was found in his house in a garbage bag. Valdemar Costa Neto, Antonio Rueda. Look here, the others are mayors, and this one next to Flavio Bolsonaro is Douglas Ruas. Yes. They're doing everything to make him governor of Rio de Janeiro, but the Supreme Court already said it won't be him. They even elected him as president of the Legislative Assembly. But the president of the Legislative Assembly's turn in the line of succession had already passed, and now it's the president of the Court of Justice's turn. They tried to put him in, but the Supreme Court said no. The line of succession has already moved on. It's President Ricardo Couto, a judge from the Court of Justice, who's even making a little fuss. That's right. This Dr. Luizinho, who's hiding right here in this little corner. Look, there's Flavio Bolsonaro, Douglas Ruas, this other one here who's a mayor, and this one, look. Is he hiding here? That's right. He tried to sneak by yesterday during his visit. Here's the photo, look. Stop here. The leader of the PP in the chamber, Congressman Dr. Luizinho, was caught hiding as he left the residence of Ciro Nogueira from the PP. Look here, he ducked down inside his car to try to hide. He didn't want people to find out and see that he went there yesterday to visit Ciro Nogueira. This one is from the same political group as Flavio Bolsonaro from Rio de Janeiro. And the PP and the PL formed an alliance in February this year to launch the 3 candidates for the Senate, which would be a candidate there, someone we don't know, not very prominent, Claudio Castro, former governor of Rio de Janeiro, who was impeached and is ineligible, and Rogéria Bolsonaro, who is Flavio Bolsonaro's mother. That's why I believe that Ciro Nogueira is number 11 on the master team, but number 10 is very likely Flavio Bolsonaro himself. It works. Since I already explained everything yesterday, including all the connections, I won't repeat it to avoid being boring. But if you've been following me since yesterday in the 8:30 a.m. live stream and the 12:30 p.m. live stream, I've been showing these connections. And this revelation was a big blow to the far right this week, right? A big blow. There were 2 blows. To Lula, who did very well in the meeting with Donald Trump. And now this blow is only revealing that, in fact, Daniel Forcaro had a group called Bolsomaster. And that the number 10 could be Flavio Bolsonaro, because the number 11, by all indications, is already Senator Ciro Nogueira. Look here, look. Flavio's statement about the operation against Ciro goes over badly with the Central Bloc and fuels caution about the alliance with Bolsonarism. Allies of the senator in the PP and União Brasil saw Bolsonaro's son's statement as an attempt at political distancing amid the Banco master crisis. Flavio Bolsonaro showed up yesterday. Yes, he did. I'm not showing him because I won't give a platform to a crazy person, right? He spoke out and said that the federal police are right, that an investigation needs to be done and whoever is involved needs to be dealt with. A parliamentary inquiry into Banco Master is needed. But those are kind of contradictory, right? Because what was the best moment for all those people who have the biggest PL caucus? Because it was the National Congress session. The National Congress session, which happened with the overturning of the veto, was the best opportunity for the PL group to request the opening of a parliamentary inquiry into Banco Master. Why? Because it was a joint session. It brought together the federal deputies and the senators. And we know that the largest group of federal deputies and the second largest group of senators is from the PL. What if the PL had gone after the senator, president of the Senate, Davi Alcolumbre, in the session that analyzed and overturned Lula's veto on the sentencing guidelines? Davi Alcolumbre, president of the Senate and also president of Congress, would have no choice but to open a congressional inquiry or a joint congressional inquiry into Banco Master. Só que, o que eles fizeram? Foram o contrário. The Bolsonaro supporters, and the PL tucked its tail between its legs and didn't even bring up the possibility of opening a congressional inquiry or a joint congressional inquiry into Banco Master at that time, which I repeat was the best opportunity for the PL because it brought together the largest group of federal deputies and the second largest group of senators, where Davi Alcolumbre would have no way out, no escape. But they didn't do that. And now Flavio Bolsonaro trying to act like he's a champion of morality and justice, which he isn't. The star player, Bolsa Master from Vocaro, said the CPI really does need to be open. I don't know what to investigate. I don't know what. So why didn't they ask to open it during the veto analysis session then? Where they would have had a lot of leverage. And Flavio's speech was seen as a betrayal. According to behind-the-scenes reports, there was an agreement. Acordo entre the right, the Centro, and the Bolsonaro supporters to overturn Lula's veto, and it was overturned. To reject Jorge Messias for a seat on the federal Supreme Court after Lula nominated him. To stop everything there so everyone would be shielded and everyone would be at ease regarding Master. Everyone, right, center, and far right. But now the police have started to stir up trouble from the Bolsa selection to Master. Then the candidate, the pre-candidate for the presidency, so as not to show fear or that he or his family might be involved, he goes and throws gasoline on the fire. And the Centro to the right não gostaram. It's like I told you, when you have something to hide, if you run, you're caught. If you stay, you're eaten. In other words, your secrets can be dragged out. E vamos ver o que vai dar. I'll repeat it, and I want you to put it up there. Bocaro's Bolsa Master Selection. Camisa 10, Flávio Bolsonaro. Camisa 11, Ciro Nogueira. Camisa 9, Andréia. Adivinha? And let's see what comes out of this. Congressman Lindenberg Farias talked a little about this inquiry into Bolsa Master. Let's see what he said here so we can understand a bit about the movements that are happening regarding all of this. Take a look.
4 months talking about the master CPI over and over again. Now you're all quiet. Aren't you ashamed of that? Congresswoman Gleichi said, sign it, club president, read the master CPI.
Do you know what day Davi Alcolumbre said this? I know because I followed the session. And I even shared it with you all here. Representative Lindenberg Farias gave this speech here on the day they were overturning Lula's veto on the sentencing guidelines. On the day when all the Bolsonaro loyalists from the PL, both representatives and senators, were gathered in full force, where they would have a lot of power to go after Davi Alcolumbre. To demand the installation of the parliamentary inquiry into Banco Master, they simply stayed silent. This statement here by Lindbergh, which I'm going to start again from the beginning, was exactly on that day.
Há 4 meses falando de CPMI do Master. Estala, estala, estala. Estão caladinhos agora. Vocês não têm vergonha disso? A deputada Gleice falou. Assine, presidente Alcolumbre. Leia a CPI do Master. A gente quer saber a verdade sobre tudo isso.
E eu vi aqui gente falando que nós temos medo de discutir o Master. Nós não temos medo, não. Quero fazer um pedido para Vossa Excelência. Instale a CPMI do Master. Nós vamos fazer essa discussão aqui dentro do Congresso Nacional.
O governo quer a investigação sobre o Banco Master. Eu acho que o presidente Davi é o corrupto.
The case of
Banco Master is one of the biggest financial scandals in the country's history and already involves crucial institutions of the Republic. That's why I submitted a request to create the Banco Master Parliamentary Inquiry Commission so that the Senate can investigate this scandal with rigor, firmness, and transparency, and so that those responsible are punished.
The Centron was interested in ending the joint parliamentary inquiry into Banco Master. In fact, they don't want any investigation into Banco Master because it represents the Centron and the far right. I think that photo of Alcolumbre hugging Flavio Bolsonaro says it all. Both of them were interested in burying the joint congressional inquiry into Banco Master.
It exposes the promiscuous criminal relationship. And why did the Senate reject Jorge Messias in the backroom deal with the far right, with the PL, to avoid investigating, to prevent a joint congressional inquiry into Banco Master here in the National Congress?
They spent 4 months talking about the joint congressional inquiry into Banco Master.
They spent 4 months being annoying, talking about a congressional inquiry, a joint congressional inquiry into Banco Master. Then, when they had the best opportunity to set it up, which was the joint session of the National Congress, they simply didn't go after Davi Alcolumbre to get it started. And now Flavio Bolsonaro shows up and says he wants it set up. Porque Ciro Nogueira foi preso. Only someone naive or a Bolsonaro supporter would believe that, right? And there's that old way of operating, believing in fake news in situations that are half-truths, and it's catnip for the herd. There's just no way, guys. Unfortunately, that's the way things are. Please like the live stream. It's very important. And always take a look at the first comment, which we leave as soon as the live stream ends, because that's also very important. Here is the WhatsApp channel. Whenever there's a new live stream, whenever there's anything I'm going to do or say, I put it here first for you, here on WhatsApp. The link will also be in the first comment pinned, because there are a lot of people who come here and say, hey, Andrea Gonçalves, I miss you. You're not doing live streams anymore. Guys, I'm here from Monday to Friday, from morning to afternoon, almost into the evening. Every day, from Monday to Friday, I do live streams at 8:30 and 12:30 every day. On Fridays, I do extra streams if there's any news, otherwise they're reruns. But there are a lot of people who aren't getting the notification. That's why I opened this channel here on WhatsApp. You just need to have WhatsApp and join. If you don't know how to join using the QR code, use the link that I'll leave pinned. In the first comment, the link is being posted right now by the team. Just join there and follow me on the WhatsApp channel for anything new like this live stream right now before it even starts. I went there and posted. I sent an audio message to people saying, guys, the live is about to start. Let's go. Let's join the live. And I shared the link so no one would miss it because I don't know what's going on. It seems like our channel is being boycotted and people aren't receiving notifications and aren't seeing the channel on YouTube, as incredible as it may seem.
Hey, 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 here it is.
Guys, the hat is here. It's Friday, brave Brazil. And today I'm going to spend my 5 reais. Why? Why? Because I don't like gossip and I don't meddle in other people's lives. I mind my own business. And even then, barely, right? Every now and then we still slip up. Oh my goodness. Kisses, my beautiful people. I'll be back soon. Stay tuned.